Welcome back to the EJ Ward FieldView training series. In this video, we're going to go over how to add and change employees. To start out, we need to drop down the Asset Management folder, and then from there go to the Employees page. Once the employee page loads up, to add a record, all we have to do is click on the Add Record button here at the top. Once the employee record completely loads up, this is just going to be a full blank employee record. We have at the top, the very top, we have an employee template. We're going to go over in a separate video on how to make templates and apply templates, but simply just applying them, you can drop them down from here and apply it. A template is just going to be the non-unique information that goes into this employee record. Templates also apply to vehicles and a couple other different records inside of FieldView, but you're not going to see them in all of them. Underneath that, we have our employee number. The employee number is an alphanumeric field. It can be up to 10 characters and has to be unique throughout the system. To the right of that, we have our employee code. The code is simply just another way you can use to identify that employee. And then underneath that, we have our fueling status. So if you want them to be able to fuel, we have to have fueling status checked. Underneath that is the second required field that we have, which is your first, your middle, and your last name. You only need the first and the last name. You don't need a middle. However, we do have the middle there if you want to add it in. Below that, we have the email. So this is going to be the email for the employee. Underneath that, we have our third required field, which is the department. And then to the right of that, we have a district if you want to add them to a district as well. Below the employee status, we have active. So this is just the status of the employee, and we'll go over that in the next video. And then we have our card information below that. And in the card information, you're going to have either the card number, this could be an employee magnetic stripe card, this could be a key fob, or this could be an HID badge that you might have. So we're going to go ahead and start out and put our employee number in. We're going to put an employee code. And we're going to put our first, middle, and last name. Our email address. Then we're going to select the department. So any of these drop downs that we have in our system, you can just start typing out and it's going to start searching through all of the departments. We're going to leave the district empty for this person. And then under employee status, you always want to keep that checked when you're creating a record, because if you uncheck it, they're not going to be active and they aren't going to be in the system or able to fuel. If we scroll down, we have our card information. A facility code is used if you're using an HID badge or something that's not a magstripe card or a key fob. So if you do have a facility code, it will already be loaded for you. You're just going to have to drop down and select it. We have no facility code on this one, so we're just going to drop down and select no facility code. And the card number, I put the card numbers in first, and then I encode the fobs or the magnetic stripe cards that we have. So we can just go ahead and click on the Assign New Card button. Once that happens, we're going to have the next available card number. This card number must be unique throughout the system for the employees. And then we have our card enabled checkbox. Underneath that one, we have our card last used. So every time I fuel with this, it's going to populate that box with the date and time that I last fueled and used that card. And then we have our card issued, which is today's date and time. Or if you assign a new card and save it, it's going to change that card assigned to whenever you put that new card number in. Below that, we have our primary fuel type and our secondary fuel type. So for this person, we already have unknown in there, and you can see that I only see unknown for the fuel type. All you have to do is type backspace, or you can delete it all, or you can just start typing and it's going to take it all out, and it'll show you all the different fuel types that we can choose from. So I'm going to select all because this employee can use all the different types of fuel. And I'm going to go ahead and do that for both the primary and the secondary. Below that, we have custom user fields. These are user fields that you can put whatever you would like into, and then you would contact EJ Ward, and EJ Ward can change these field names. So this is custom user field 1, user field 2, user field 3. I could change these to billing, or account information, HR number, whatever you would like to put, and we can change those fairly quickly for you. Once I have all this information put in and everything is good to go, I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. Once this is saved, I can go ahead and click on OK. And just as a side note, if you're using our Ward 4 terminal or our Ward IoT terminal, you can immediately have that person go out and fuel at that point, because as soon as this record's saved, it gets sent down to all of the terminals. Now, with our Ward 4, it works a little differently. So whenever the employee goes and puts their badge or their fob or whatever they're using to fuel up at the terminal, the Ward 4 terminal will contact that server and see if that employee is there and they're able to fuel, and it will pull them down into the database inside of the Ward 4 terminal. Our IoT will send it immediately straight to that terminal as soon as we save this record. So to change anything on that employee, all I need to do is type in the employee number, or you can search by any of these fields just by clicking in here and starting to search. It'll automatically search after a while, or you can press enter to search a little quicker. And then we just click on the employee number or the employee name. So either of these links will work to get to that record. Once this record loads up, we can change any of this information. So let's say I wanted to change the name. And then I can just come down and hit save. You'll also notice that there's a copy here. We'll show you what you can do with that here in just a second. So once this saves, to copy anything, basically what this is going to copy all the non-unique information and put it into a new record so that you can make a new record and save it. So if I click on copy, it's going to open up a new pop-up, and it's going to have the department and all the non-unique information, which for the employees is not much information. We also have this feature on vehicles, which has a lot more information, like your make, your model, your year, and all the other information for that vehicle that's non-unique to that vehicle. So you could just rapid fire add a bunch of different records. And it kind of works as the template, but it's just something that you can do once, and it doesn't save a template that you can keep using over and over again. You would fill out all this information, you would save it, and then you would have your second record saved. So you can see that we have the primary and the secondary field type already set, and that the department is already set as well. This concludes the video on how to add and change employees. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.